Hi everybody, Pastor Caleb here. Every year, United Methodist churches across the state send clergy and key leaders to Traverse City to worship, learn, ordain new pastors, and do the business of the church. We call this gathering the Michigan Annual Conference. And this year, Millwood, you sent Kelly Edra, who co-leads our discipleship team, to be part of this conference. And I want you to hear from her what it was like to go on our behalf for the first time. Kelly?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for sending me to annual conference this year. It was a true honor to go on behalf of Millwood. It was such a blessing to be around so many other members of the United Methodist Church from around the state, just being soaked in the language of our faith and our United Methodist roots. And I was able to connect with people from when I was young all the way up to people that I got to meet that were new, from the UP down to the Detroit area and even here in Kalamazoo. I was so inspired, especially by our keynote speaker, Reverend Dr. Jasmine Smothers from Atlanta First United Methodist Church, and I think Caleb's going to tell you a little bit more about that presentation.
Yes, it was a joy to hear about young pastor taking on a downtown church and helping them not only to revitalize, but to remember that they are not just a pastor of a church, but a pastor for a whole community. That we are literally appointed that way in our system. And one of the things she did was to lead her church in building a brand new housing project for transitional housing, those coming out of homelessness. An incredible project that has literally opened the doors of their church as they've created new entryways into this historic building. So she was very inspiring. And once again, a connection, not just from right here in our little congregation or our city, but across this global connection that we call the United Methodist Church. As part of that global church, we also voted on some constitutional amendments that will then go to the General Conference at their next meeting. That whole global church is voting on them across all the annual conferences of the world right now, doing three big things that we all voted to pass. So it was, first is regionalization, which is making sure that it's not different regions of the world get to have their own book of discipline, but everybody uses the United States one, which is what it has been, so that everybody votes on the US rules, and we are sort of this extra powerful area. Instead, we have put ourselves on an even footing with the rest of the world. So we're all individual regions rather than centralizing the US. So that's the first one. Second one was we added disability and gender to our list of protected identities throughout our book of discipline. And the third one is a new emphasis on including racial justice and redefining and updating a lot of that language that has been shaped through the last 20 years since that section of our words was updated. So our language and our learning continues to evolve because this is a living faith lived out among people. So thank you, church, for sending us, and thank you so much for being part of not just a local church, but Christ